Hey, Devin.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Good.
Question for the room: If you are at a restaurant, let's say Ocean Prime in the Seaport, and you notice an acquaintance of yours, perhaps you could call that person a friend or even a work associate, who is clearly wealthier than you, and they see you, they know you're there, and they don't buy your dinner. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't know how you can feel about someone not buying you dinner. That's a kind of slippery landscape to go down. I've been to dinner multiple times, and I don't know if anybody's decided to pay for my dinner.
Well, I'm just sitting there by myself, I think, at the bar. It would have been nice. Even if you sent a shot over or something like that.
Oh, my God. Devin, was he screaming your name when you walked in? Devin, it's me,
No,
Greg Hill.
It was me and my brother, so I don't even think he honestly knew who was who.
By the way, I wanted to ask you about James White is on ESPN. Ninkovich is there. Brewski's there. Your brother, you just brought up your brother. He's on Good Morning Football. How much longer till you take Wiggy's job here at WEEI?
Please do, so I can move down south.
I don't know, man. Those guys, they're setting the path to post-retirement career. So I just keep asking those guys questions and tell them, keep saying good things about me at their job so I can get a job one of these days.
With regard to James White retiring, that ends up being, I'm sure, from a leadership perspective, leaving a little bit of a void. Bill talked about how he was a guy who was a quiet leader. Is that something that obviously you're a leader on that team, but is that you're gonna miss him?
Oh, no doubt about it. I think he's one of those guys that you knew what you were going to get out of him every day, and I think young players could come and see what that meant to be a professional in this league. And I think a lot of guys come in, some are vocal, some are not. And I think when you're not a vocal guy, it's hard to figure out, how do I lead? How do I, get my teammates going? And I think James was that picture. He was the guy who, not only was working hard, but he always did the right thing on the field. He knew all the adjustments. He knew what other guys had to do to help him out. And I think that having that void in the locker room will definitely be different. But I think it's how the NFL works. Guys need to step up. Other guys need to kind of fulfill those leadership roles, as you see some of these guys either, retire or go to new teams. That happens every year, really.
Well, Devin, talking about retirement, another guy who's enjoying that time, Julian Edelman, talked about how watching film year in, year out, and watching himself age on film every season is what led him to retirement. Do you ever feel that when you come into a new season and you see maybe how you've changed, your body's changed, maybe you've slowed down a little bit?
No, but I think we all fight that mentally. More than anything. If you don't make a play, you wonder, is it because I'm old? I think that's the battle of being a professional athlete. When you're young, you battle not having experience, not knowing what you're fully doing. And as you get older, you battle, can I still do what I used to do? So it's an ongoing process, man. Jules is a little crazy, so, he's different. I've never watched film to see myself age. I think then I'll probably be retiring probably 4 years ago. But I think for all of us, it's a constant battle, and it's a part of being an athlete that you kind of enjoy, pushing yourself in the off season, pushing yourself against some of the younger guys and things that we do just to make sure you still got it. Me and Slate talk about that all the time.
Well, he said last week that he thinks he could still play. You think he can?
He was here the other day, and I asked him, did he want me to go get him some pads and stuff, and he slowly lifted up his shirt and showed that he had the red gloves tucked in his shorts ready to go. So I don't know if it was legal to get him pads and stuff and out there for the joint practice the other day, but you never know with Jules. He might be back one of these days.
Well, Devin, we never really feel like we can't play. Even till this day, I feel like I can still get out there and play. But then
do you own a mirror?
I don't need to own a mirror. I never look the part anyways.
Wiggy, you look
It's
great.
all about head fakes with me. So, Devin, you look at your career and where you are, and you're going into, what is this, your 13th, 14th year? It seems like you've been doing this thing forever. What's the preseason, training camp approach, now that it's a little bit different with 3 preseason games? What's the mindset for you, still getting your reps, but still trying to put yourself in a position where, you want to make sure you're ready to go come the regular season?
Yeah, I think the cool thing, even from when I first got in the league till now, is the sports science aspect of it all. So as a player, you kind of just follow the plan that's put, out in front of you. And I think we have a group of guys here that, I talked to before the training camp started, and the plan of that I think I had 2 kind of lesser days in training camp, and then obviously the joint practices. You love getting out there going with your guys. But it's really just following, whatever they have. And, I think nowadays, different than when I first got in the league, that differs from, each guy and what the plan is. And I think you guys have seen a little bit of that through the preseason games and how that's kind of played out. So I think for all of us as players, we kind of just come in, listen to whatever it is that, the plan is to go forward, and you just do it. And you make sure you're ready to go when your time's coming.
With J.C. Jackson being gone, who in your mind is the number 1 corner on this team right now?
I don't think we have that. I think we were very fortunate to have, in my career, the likes of Talib and then Revis and then Steph and, those different guys, and obviously J.C. But I don't think we have, that, where you're saying like, hey man, like this is the number 1 guy. I think we have a group of guys that have been keeping their butts on. I think Jay Mills has had one of the best training camps I've seen here, just going out there and competing, making plays day in and day out. And then, I think with Jay Jones been playing outside, and Miles and Marcus Jones and Jack Jones and T. Mitch coming in here, I think we just have a lot of, really good players that are going out there competing. And we're figuring out as we go. And, I think you guys have seen throughout training camps, we've had different lineups in there, different guys playing. And, I think we just got to go out there each week and compete and do what we do. And I think the good thing about this group is we have a lot of players that have played multiple positions. So I think one of our strengths will be being able to do some things that are a little bit harder and take more communication and, the knowledge and understanding of football and the defense. You need a little bit more of that. I think we'll be able to do some of those things that we haven't always done in the past, and I think will make us a better group because of guys like Jay Jones and, Jay Mills. They've played safety, they played star, they played outside corner, and I think that'll allow us to put guys all over the field in the secondary. That'll make our group a little bit different than it's been in years past.
Devin, last year it seemed like everybody was worried about who was in charge of the defense, and now we look this season and everybody's asking about titles when it comes to the offense. And Bill was on the show on Monday and said, I'm the head guy. That's all that should matter to all of you. Does everybody on this team buy into that? In Bill we trust still, and do you guys ever question, or do you guys know who's in charge at all times?
Well, of the team, yeah, I think we all know that. That's not debatable. I think it's been like that for years. But as far as the offense, I know for me as a defensive player, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't pay any attention to what they have going on over there. But I think it's just like you just said. The last couple of years, that's been the question of the defense, and we've continued to play and do what we need to do. I think it'll be the same this year with the offense. I think guys come out. Long as what you need is in there, you know your assignments, you know what you need to do. You can talk to different coaches, and you know what role is what within the building. I think that's all that matters to guys, and guys just go out there and try to do their job the best of their ability and kind of ignore everything else that's going on. But I think as players, we get it from the outside looking in. It's not the norm, and I think that's what makes people question it. But I think inside players, we know what we need to do, and we know who we're getting information from, and guys just go about their business that way.
From a coaching perspective, though, is Matt Patricia spending time with you guys, or just strictly with the offense?
No, he's been with mostly the offense. I think you guys have seen that through training camp. It's hard to be on the offensive side and then come and be like, hey, no, defense, do this, do that. So yeah, he's been mostly on offense. And last year, he was kind of all over the place. And, I think that's how each season kind of changes when the coaching staff changes.
Devin, does Bill come to you guys and say, because you guys obviously tomorrow's your third preseason game, your final preseason game, which in years past when it was the 4 preseason game format meant that the starters wouldn't be playing. Has Bill said whether or not you guys, the ones or the starters, are going to be out there playing, or is this something that you still up in the air?
Yeah, I think we should be finding out between today and tomorrow. But as far as we all know, we'll be out there. And, I think probably more than anybody, Wiggy, is always get ready to go and be prepared to play as many snaps as I put you out there. So I think that's what everybody knows right now. So that's the plan for all the guys going into the game.
You guys took a trip to visit Dana White in the UFC. Did he say anything? Was he trying to recruit you to play for the Raiders while you were there?
Nah, I mean, nobody got the recruiting pitch for the Raiders, so I'm not sure how that would work from a league standpoint. But it was really cool going over there, seeing the facilities, seeing a lot of the things that they use, training the fighters, and a lot of the things that we've implemented into our weight room in the training process. So it's really cool to see that aspect of it.
All right. Well, then what about his last season here? Did Tom Brady try to recruit you to go to the Dolphins?
He did not. So
he recruited his brother.
He did not. Yeah, he did not plan to bring me to South Beach. So I don't know how I should feel about that.
Dev, I know that there was some reports out there, obviously going against Josh McDaniels. What was that like to go against, Josh McDaniels and the Raiders, knowing that you're going to play them later on in the year? And there were some calls that it seemed like defensively you guys were still aware of that was still some of the same that, he ran when he was here in New England. What was that like going up against Josh now, a guy that you've seen for so many years, be a great offensive coordinator, and now having to kind of like face that offense, and now knowing that you're going to have to face them? I think it's like week 13 or something like that.
Yeah, it was fun, man. He came up to me like midway through the first practice, like, stop calling out our plays. And I used to always joke when he was here, he would always come and tell me the different things that we put in on defense for the day, even before I got to defensive meetings. So it's always a back and forth. And, watching the film and being out there, it's a lot of the things that we used to do here, and obviously with some twists just from a personnel standpoint of what they have over there. But I think the interesting thing about this, a few years ago we played the Texans. I think it was like week 2 or 3, and we practiced against them. I thought that was a little different because we played them really early in the season, whereas this game, everything we do as a defense, they're going to know by the time we play. It's sometime in December. We have so many games between, that game. We're going to know what they are as an offense. They'll know what we are as a defense. So this was a lot of fun because you kind of just go out there and play and not have to worry about, should I not show this because they haven't seen it, because they're going to see it by the time we play anyway. But it'll be a very interesting battle because it's two sides that know each other really well, what they like, and, especially for the coaches sitting in staff meetings for years, knowing what a person doesn't like and really likes as a coordinator. It'll be a nice little battle when we play in December.
I work with a couple noted Mac Jones haters, one named Jermaine Wiggins and the other named Chris Scheim. What have you seen from Mac Jones in year 2 that you didn't see in year 1?
I think the biggest thing, I'll never pretend that I'm a quarterback whisperer, but I think the biggest thing that I've seen as a teammate is just his leadership and the comfort that he now has, going into year 2. It's hard for any player as a rookie, but when, you're asked to lead the kind of offense as a quarterback as a rookie, there's so much you still need to learn, but you also need to lead, which I think a lot of times can be very hard for young guys. And I think this year he's really just been more of himself and leading guys and having fun and just going out there and compete. And, I still remember my second year, everything doesn't go right. You're a better player than you were the year before, but you still have a lot of things you don't know. And I think that's what he's still building on. It's a process through training camp. He continues to learn, and, I think a lot of guys are very excited to have him lead our football team.
Well, we're excited to have you back for Patriots Friday, and really appreciate you taking the time. Enjoy Vegas. Have you hit the tables at all, or?
I haven't hit the tables. We've had a lot of good dinners with the teammates. A lot of guys going out, eating, having a good time.
Do you hit on 14 or sit on 14?
I don't even know what that means.
All right, that's good. That means you're not playing any blackjack.
Yeah, no,
that's good.
He's not
Good
playing
answer.
blackjack.
All right, Devin, we'll talk to you soon.
I
Thanks.
need to save my money.
Smart man.
All right, we'll talk soon.
All right, guys.
Thanks.